Hi, it's Clive here from English Key. I'm here with one of our star PTE students, Juan.
Hello, Clive. Yeah.
Juan has done superbly. He's got an overall 82 in PTE, including in the listening section 82 in that section itself. But Juan, you've told me that listening is one of the parts of the exam that you find most challenging.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, it's just that there are different factors, but the important one was the task which was highlighting the correct paragraph. That was the most challenging for me.
Yeah, Juan's referring to highlight correct summary. You might know that one. You're given 4 summaries. They might be about 100 words each. 1, 2, 3, 4. You listen to some audio, which might go for about 90 seconds, and then you have to choose which summary is correct. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about some of the strategies that you need to do well in that part of the exam. Now, one of the key problems is that you have only 10 seconds to read those summaries before the audio starts. So effectively you have to be multitasking, which means you have to be reading the 4 summaries whilst you're listening, okay? And there's some things that I want you, some strategies and tips that I want you to keep in mind. Juan here, can I get you to read out what we have here? Summaries will be wrong if they have any of the following. Can you read out these 3 points?
Sure, Cliff. So it says that if it includes information that is not in the recording.
That makes the answer wrong, obviously.
Yeah. If it means key information and focus only on secondary information.
Okay, so if it's missing key information but it's focusing on secondary information that's correct, it's still not the right option. It must capture the main point of the audio.
Or if the recording has any incorrect information.
Yeah, exactly, if it has incorrect information. So keep those 3 strategies in mind. I'm going to get you guys to do an activity in a moment. Now the other thing that we need to keep in mind is that things will be rephrased. Rephrase means they'll be expressed in a different way from the audio to the actual text. The meaning might be the same for the correct option, but it will be expressed in a different way. Juan, what are the 4 ways that things are rephrased? And I'll give an example for each one. What's the first one?
Synonyms.
So synonyms, words that have a similar meaning to each other. So for example, the word happy, a synonym is delighted, for example. Next one?
There are thematically related words.
Thematically related words. So if we take a word like education, then we have words that are thematically related, like teacher, student, pupil, desk, laptop. Okay, these are not synonyms, but they're all thematically related to education. And the next one?
Changing the grammar form.
Okay, so changing the grammar form, if we take again a word like education, that's a noun, okay, a noun. A noun is a person, place, or a thing. But if we could change it to be an adjective, like educational, or we could change it to be what's called the personal noun, which would be educator. And we could also use the verb form, to educate. I want to educate someone, for example. All the same word, just changing the grammar form. And what's the final one?
Rearranging the order of the phrases.
Okay, so there might be a long sentence, but you could, in the audio versus the text, and you can change the order that things are expressed in that sentence, and it can still have the same meaning, okay? So keep in mind what we spoke about earlier when we do this activity now. The first thing we spoke about was things to look out for to find an incorrect one, and the other one, to find the correct option, is to be aware of rephrasing. Now on your screen you're going to have 4 options appear, 4 summaries. You're going to listen to the audio now, and then afterwards you can pause the video if you want for 20-30 seconds to make sure you finalize the option A, B, C or D, and then I'm going to offer an explanation of which one is correct. Let's do that now.
If you designed an almost perfect anti-brain learning environment, it would look something like a typical classroom. And if you were to design an almost perfect anti-brain working environment, it would look something like a typical office cubicle. Why? Because tiny proteins called BDNFs are actually created when you exercise, and these help the brain to develop. So, exercise boosts brain power. The problem lies in the fact that we measure distance today in terms of the space between the refrigerator, the bathroom, and the couch. Says Robert Hutchins, "Whenever I feel like exercise, I lie down until the feeling passes." Our ancestors, on the other hand, walked an average of 12 miles a day, and hence the brain developed as a survival organ that was designed to solve problems in an unstable environment in almost constant motion. If our ancestors had lain around, well, let's just say that survival didn't favour the sedentary types. So, what are we to do? If I were an employer, I'd want the workplace environment to encourage exercise, to boost my employees' brain power.
Okay, so coming back now, we're going to talk through those 4 options and we're going to see how you went if you got the correct one. So A is incorrect. It emphasizes supporting details, however, it introduces information that's not actually in the recording, and the information that it introduces that's not in the recording is where it says more successful than other species. That's not mentioned in the recording, so that automatically makes that one incorrect. Next one, B, is incorrect. It misses out an important point, that exercise is good for the brain. And it focuses only on minor points. So even though it's ticking some boxes with minor points, if it's missing such an important point that exercise is good for the brain, then that means it's going to be incorrect. C is in fact the correct option. You may have got that. And incorrect information occurs in D. So D is also incorrect. Going back to about the rephrasing, we're just going to give you an example sentence. Modern classrooms and offices don't help people's brains to work well. Okay? Pause the video for a second, maybe a minute, 90 seconds, and try and rephrase that based on the rephrasing points I've just spoken about. Okay? Now Juan is going to read out one way that this could be rephrased.
So it says, contemporary educational facilities and office environments prevent proper cognitive function.
Very good. Thank you, Juan. So, modern classrooms is rephrased as contemporary educational facilities. Offices becomes office environments. Don't help people's brains. We have the word prevent. And brains to work well, we've changed that to proper cognitive function. Proper cognitive function, okay? So, in other words, brains working well, okay? All right, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more useful tips in different parts of the PTE and IELTS exams. See you.
So, yeah.